Again, the quiz links for my international students who are watching this is on Portal. There's a B block one, a C block one. Go ahead on Portal, take a look, and choose the appropriate quiz for your class. And then when you are done, open up Eclipse. Okay, we have a couple more. Okay. I'm gonna put the grades in as they're coming. So we can just knock that out of the way. Reports, here we go. 25, last name. All right, so scores weren't great on this quiz. Do you guys want to go over this quiz? Would you guys prefer to go over this one? I have no
Yes.
problem. I have no problem because the scores weren't great. Not, you know, the scores typical of last class. Class had a little bit more, but let's review this really quickly. Give me 1 second. Close that window. Okay, here we go. So let me go back to the quiz. All right, so let's review. Okay, here we go. Share screen. Okay, so first of all, can everyone see the quiz? Okay, so first of all, this one was, I told you guys I'm always going to test you guys on previous knowledge. So consider the following code segment, and you have two ints. What is the maximum number that can be assigned to bees? Now, I told you that the highest number I didn't know off the bat was 2 billion for ints, negative 2 billion to positive 2 billion. This is what the positive 2 billion number is. This is way too much. This is way too much. This is too low. So basically what it was just your understanding. Did you take notes? Did you remember? Because remember that I told you that it's 2 to the 32nd, which is 4 bit, which is actually this number right here. It's actually this number, but then you cut it in half. Half of it goes towards the positives, half of it goes towards the negatives. Okay? So just be wary of those, all right? I haven't seen, I can run a report to see how many of you missed that, but just keep that in mind. This is where that applied knowledge comes in. So string my phrase, Charlie does not tell lies, int lie position, my phrase dot index of lie. Okay. 0, 1, 2, 3, inclusive. So the index of lie is 4. How many of you feel like you got that one? Okay, good. So what is printed as a result of executing the following code segment? Now we went over the process of how to do it. Remember that I showed you that you could put methods inside, you could put like method parameters inside of parameters, okay? So phrase.substring 15 to 16 or to 17, okay? That is RE, all right? So you then need to get the index of RE. You're not finding this index, you're just now finding the index of this phrase. Remember that it spits back, substring spits back a string. So what is the first index of RE? 1. Okay, this is why. So what a lot of people do is they look for the substring, oh, it's RE. Okay, what's the index of this RE? No, it basically, that is giving you the phrase that you are then going to look. For example, let's say it ended up, yeah, so let's say RE, I really can't make up one right now. I was going to say one. You guys should know that if it's not in there, it's a -1. But that's what this one was testing, making sure that you guys understood that it spits back a string, then find the index of that string, not this particular string right here. Does that make sense? So this was an AP question, all right? This is, and so, but again, this, I'm going at you right away. This is the kind of questions that you can expect. This isn't too difficult a question, but I can also see for some of you who haven't really programmed it before, I have a feeling you won't make this mistake again. Is it clear to say that now that you have an understanding of that? So these are the kind of, we call them like gotcha questions. These are the kind of like gotcha questions. Now, as you can see, is it really a trick question? These are the types of questions when I say that I told you guys I'm going to go after you on. That's the type of question. I'm going to make sure that you have that fundamental knowledge of how these work. Okay, and then the last one, string s equals goodbye, system print line s dot substring, s dot length minus s dot index of d dot length. That one comes out to dbye. So here's the thing, okay? First things first, right off the bat, it is printing a substring, okay? It's printing a substring, which means it's gonna print out a string. So let's go right off the bat, just right off the bat. Are there any numbers at all in this word? We can easily eliminate 2 and 3, okay? So does that make sense? So right off the bat, remember I told you, I think I told yesterday when we're like, for example, when we go into math, if I give you a question that is a huge question and then like a huge math question, and then there's a double at the end, and 3 of the answers have ints and 1 has a double, do you even need to do the work? No, because it's the only one with a double, there's a double present. You don't even need to do the work. So analyze your answers first. So basically the first thing that you have to do is you have to do this s dot length. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minus the index of d dot length. So what's the index of d? 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3. So that would be 4, right? Right?
Yeah.
That would be, so dbye dot substring. So it would basically be dbye. You're printing it out twice. Okay? So that is what this is. Basically just, you have this internal one. Now remember your PEMDAS. Now as you can see, take a look at what I did to try to help you out. So what I did let me see if I can get this question a little bigger. Can I edit this question? Okay. All right, so what I tried to do is notice that I added more spaces to kind of, so they could help you out a little bit, rather than just going close parenthesis, close parenthesis, close parenthesis. I actually went through and tried to space it out a little bit so that it would help you a little bit. If you want me to make it exactly like the code, just shoot me a private message if that's your preference. But for right now, that's kind of what we're doing. So tough quiz, but again, you're going to have 20 to 30 of these. In doing the math, I'm probably going to drop 2. So if you didn't do well on this one, it's not the be all end all. Just continue doing your homework. And again, as I told you, you have a test on Wednesday. I'm going to do another review session on Tuesday night for an hour, but that will be open to everyone. Okay. All right. Any questions before we move on? Are you all now, how many of you were like kind of confused, but now you have an understanding after you've seen the question and have it explained? Perfect. Okay, good. And again, all of you guys are all very smart. I have a feeling that now that you've seen this, you're probably not going to make this same mistake again. Okay. That's what, go slow, work your way out, you'll be fine. All right, so open up Eclipse. We're going to work on our last chapter before our last test. Okay, so giving you also a heads up. The exam, I've already written it, It is going to be 10 multiple choice questions, 10 short answer questions, 1 code. The code is going to be short. It's just basically going to be like a small little free response section, no more than 5 points. I will have the rubric up there. As soon as everyone is done taking their test, you will get a report. I give you back everything. Okay? So they're great study materials. Also, again, with the grading, nobody really complained about my grading last year because it's kind of cut and dry. You either did it or you didn't. Not really much room for debate. So you'll see the rubric. And again, I will probably in the comments section of your report say you missed a point for this, and then you can go back and compare it to the rubric. Am I wrong on occasion? Yes. Will I correct stuff? Absolutely. I want to be wrong. Okay? So make sure you always double check your report. What's up, Kennedy?
We get the whole period, right?
Yeah, you'll get the whole period. Some of you, so here's the thing. Some of you, the exam link will be online. I will, for those of you who have extended time, I'll make this announcement again in next class. For those of you who have extended time, you will have a different link, okay? You'll have a different link. That one, so with that different link, more than likely, it'll allow you to save so that you can come back to it later. I'm gonna be testing with the test. Remember how that first quiz, or for the first quiz, one of the things I can associate your guys' emails with a test. So I'm gonna associate your guys' email with a certain test. The only thing is if you're extended time and let's say you can't get to it throughout the whole period, I ask you write down your answers as well, because sometimes what happens is you'll lose your test and I don't want you to take it all over again. So write it down. Obviously don't give it to anybody. And then in case you have to start all over again, you've got it written down. For those of you who are taking your test anyway, sometimes you guys hit the back button. Smart thing to do also. Okay. All right. And generally, so Kennedy, yeah. So generally what I try to do is as we get more to December, so you get 90 minutes for 40 multiple choice questions. Okay. So that's roughly 22 and a half minutes. So soon, like for example, I will start, or 22 and a half minutes per 10 questions. So as we get more towards December, you'll have a 20 multiple choice question test and you'll only have 40 minutes to do that one because I want you to get into the habit of having that time frame. Sound good? This is all about mental preparation. I want you guys to just be prepared. Yes, what's up, Benny?
I go to the bathroom.
You don't need to ask, you're good. Okay, so let's get started on, now a lot of this is great. A lot of this is gonna be review for you, but a lot of it's gonna be review, but it's always good to kind of go over it again, all right? So here we go.
Should we make a new project?
So also do me a favor as well. Please don't, I didn't go over the quiz. I have no problem going over it with the other class, but so Steve, I know you're international as well. Jackie and Fiona have not taken the quiz yet, so do not tell them that we have gone over the quiz. Okay? Also, Stephen, international students, because I have most of you in this class, we will meet. I expect you to be present Tuesday. It's going to be at about 7:45 to 8 o'clock. That's in the afternoon for you guys. So I expect you to be at the review session. I will contact all of you via WeChat.
Mr. Marty.
Yeah.
Terry.
Yeah.
Do I need to be there?
Absolutely, you do. Because actually, you know what, Terry, you're in class. If you can't make it, you've been doing a great job. The fact that you're sacrificing your sleep, absolutely, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be going over operators. Most of you remember these operators. Now, I told you when we were going over Python last year, the operators, if you know the operators in one language, you pretty much know the operators in every language. But again, this is just a great review for us to go over. All right, so right off the bat, I'm just going to use, I'm going to create a variable here. Ali, what is this an example of?
Integer?
Nope. This process that I just did. What is this an example of?
Declaring.
Declaring. Vasily. What is this an example of? When I say x equals 5, what have I just done?
Initialization.
Okay, the whole process is called what, Nick? You can use the 4 letters. What is it?
SLDI.
Bingo, which is short for
For line declaration and initialization.
Good job, good job, good job. Okay, simple. All right. Kennedy, what is this mathematically?
Addition.
Bingo. Nothing simple. Very simple. So for example, if I were going to do x plus 5, simple math, it's simple addition, prints out 10. Okay. Ashton, what is this one?
Subtraction.
Subtraction. Okay, very good. So let me just copy that for reference. So now this should be back to 5. Okay. Armand, what is this one?
Multiplication.
Multiplication. Okay. And again, with this one's multiplication, we don't have the x. You know, we don't use an x like, you know, like you do in algebra or whatever. So, okay. So if I say x times 5, all right, simple, 25. And then last one, Isis, what's this one?
Division.
Division, perfect. So if I were to, oops, division, all right, command V. So I do this, all right, boom. Now, let's discuss this for a second. So if I run all of this, we should be great, okay? So let's discuss the division very quickly because the division is a little bit, has a little bit more involved with it, as you probably all know, okay? So with division, if I divide by 0, okay, arithmetic exception error, you need to know this. Okay, it's basically a mathematical error. The only time you generally ever encounter this is if you divide by 0. This is one of the errors that you need to know. Okay, generally it only happens if you divide by 0. Okay, so it's arithmetic exception errors. It's the only one that, this is generally the only time that this ever happens. All right. So that's one. So you need to know that error. I can tell you right off the bat, store it, put it in your notes. Am I even going to quiz you on it? Or is this going to be on your test? No. Telling you right now, just keep it as a mental log. Sometimes what I just try to bring this up because on the AP, on the multiple choice, when they're dealing with math, sometimes they'll throw this out at you. If you don't see a divide by 0, you obviously know it's not possible to be this error. Okay, are we clear? So know it, understand it, keep it in the back of your mind, but it's not really necessary for right now. All right, so the other thing is x divided by 3. Okay, so at this point it was 25. 25 divided by 3, mathematically, I know some of you already know what I'm going for. Bless you, Allie. Okay, I know what some of you are already going for, but Ben, mathematically, 24 divided by 3 should be what?
8.
Okay, apparently somebody's not listening. All right, Nick, what is 24, or whoops, 25 divided by 3? I'm sorry, Ben, I put you on the spot there. 25 divided by 3, you're right. I owe you an apology. I said the wrong number. 25 divided by 3 should be what?
25 divided by 3 is just 25 over 3, unless you make it into a decimal. So
No, it's not. It's 8 point something, right?
okay.
That's what I'm trying to go for. It's 8 point something. But if we take a look, okay, right now, because we did divide by, this would be 5 divided by 3, actually. Let's make this, I'm just going to overwrite x really quickly right here. Okay. It's 8, right? It should be 8 point something, right? But it's not. With integer division, let's see, Steven. Steve, are you there or are you frozen? Okay, Leo. So why am I getting 8? Why am I not getting 8 point something?
Because it how to say, it only shows hints.
Bingo. So, Vasily, give me a clearer explanation. Why am I only seeing 8?
You're only seeing 8 because it's just giving you the whole number back instead of the decimal with the whole number. So
But
Just
more
eight.
importantly, so here's the thing you have to understand. Is this a variable right here? Is 3 a variable?
No.
No. Is 3 a variable? No. But Kennedy, what type of number would we say 3 is?
An int or a primitive variable.
Bingo, an int. It's an int. So by default, it defaults to ints. Okay. So 3 is an int. So that is how the computer reads it. So I'm dividing an int by an int. Can ints hold decimals?
No.
No. So what happens is a process, who remembers what this process is called? It starts with a T.
Truncation.
Truncation. Good job. Truncation. Good job, Ben. Way to make it up, baby. Okay. Truncation. Truncation is the process where the decimal is cut off, leaving only the whole number. So if I had 8.332 or whatever, all of this is cut off. More importantly, let's say I had 8.99. With truncation, it does not round. It just lops off the decimal and everything after it. Do not round with truncation. Okay? The other thing is, however, the minute I do 3.0, I get 8.33333. If a double is precedent, a double always takes precedence over an integer. Always. Now your number will automatically be a double and precision will take over. Okay, no more truncation. Truncation only happens with integer division. The decimal's cut off, no rounding. Make sure you remember that. Okay? But when we encounter the presence of a double, the precedence of the double takes over. All right, so now that we have that, we also have, does anybody have any questions real quick about truncation? Okay, good. So the last one is, who remembers this lovely symbol?
Modulus.
Modulus, very good. And what did I always call this? What operator? Starts with an R.
Remainder.
The remainder operator. Good memory, Ben. Nice. Okay, the remainder operator. So let's say int x here, or I'm going to just say x. I'm going to overwrite x to, let's say, 9. Okay. So, and I say x modular 5. This is the remainder operator. So basically what this does is it spits back the remainder, which is 4. How many times does 5 go into 9? Once, with a remainder of 4. Okay. Now there is a rule that we need to know. I'm pretty sure a lot of you remember it. With modulus, let's say that this is side A and this is side B. Okay. So X would represent side A and 5 would represent side B. Okay. If A is less than B, it spits back A. So for example, let's say that X is 9 and I put modulus 16. Is 9 less than 16? Yes. Therefore, it just spits back 9. Okay? Now, we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus. Division, integer division has a special process by which, so we have an error with division, arithmetic exception error if we divide by 0. We also have truncation that takes over with integer division. Okay? Now, so let's do right now, let's just do this really quickly. Give me 1 second. Let's do do not run this, but I want you to do the math out loud. Okay. Tell me what this prints out. Can all of you see that okay? Remember, the rules of PEMDAS.
Error.
The rules of PEMDAS apply. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, modulus. Modulus falls under multiplication or division. Okay, and then addition, subtraction.
Should we tell
So-
you the answer?
What's that? Yeah, go ahead, spit it out.
Arithmetic exception.
Nope.
Why not? Because whenever you do
What's 6 divided by 3? Am I dividing anything by 0?
no, but you do the parentheses first?
Yeah, what's 5 minus 6?
-1,
Okay, very good. Now, what's 5 times 6?
30,
What's 30 divided by 3?
10,
What's -1 times 3?
3. All right, -1, -3.
-3. So what's 8 minus 10?
8 minus 10 is -2,
What's -2 plus -3?
-5.
-5. Let's say that I did this. Let's say I did this. Now what's the answer?
Is it the same?
You tell me.
Mr. Marty?
Yes.
How would you do it? Because I was thinking that it was just 8 minus 5 times 7 over 3 plus.
It's PEMDAS. Parentheses,
No,
exponent.
I get it. But I'm
So
saying,
so in this process, what's the first part that we do?
what's inside
5 times 7.
5 minus 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's -1. The next one we do, 5 times 7 is 35. Then 35 divided by 3. What's
11.
35 divided by 3?
11
11.
point something.
Nope,
11.
just 11. So in this one, this should be actually -6 because I've incremented it by 1.
But what I'm saying is, how would you group the top equation and then divide the whole thing by
Listen,
the bottom?
It's simple algebra. It's the same way you would do an algebra equation.
Okay.
The
So
math, the way that the math is done here, the only difference between this and regular algebra is we have modular now, and modular gets grouped in with multiplication and division. That's it. Other than that, you would do this the same way you would do a normal problem. I would rewrite this to this would be -1, this would be 30. And remember, you do it left to right, or 35, then 35 divided by 3, -1 times 3. 8 minus 11 is -3. -3 plus -3 is -6. Okay, so key thing here, ISIS. When we were doing X's and stuff like that, did the value of X ever change? In all of these, so forgetting this practice one, so I erased this practice one. In all of these, did the value of X ever change?
I mean, didn't it change in
I changed it here, but like, for example, when I was doing the plus, minus, addition, did it ever change?
No.
No. Okay, very good. It didn't change. With compound operators. Okay, and you will remember what these are. With compound operators, I'm going to just set x equal to 5 here. Okay, x equal to 5. With compound operators, You will use these often, and compound operators actually change the value. So most of you will remember this. X equals X. X equals X plus 5. Do you remember that from last year? Who remembers how I read this? Okay, important. The new value of X is equal to the old value plus 5. The new value of X is equal to the old value plus 5. So after this, if I print out X, it is 10. Compound operators actually change the value. So I have, oops, Command Z, Command copy, there we go. So I have ones for subtraction. I have one for multiplication. I have one for division. Oops. And I have one for modulus. Okay. So these actually every single time. So going forward after line 41, X would be 0. These actually change the value of the variable. And again, these are called compound operators. X equals X plus 5, X equals X minus 5, X equals X times 5, X equals X divided by 5, and X equals X modulus 5. Now it's a long way to write it out. However, when I told you guys memory with Java back when it was invented, memory was very crucial. So there's another way that you will more than likely write this equation that also means the same thing. X plus equals 5. Okay, it's the exact same thing. So if I say X plus equals 5, it's the same thing as saying the new value of X is equal to the old value plus 5. The reason they did this was because they could save on a keystroke. They felt it was a little bit repetitive. Believe it or not, in Python, this doesn't exist. You would figure that it would be, okay, this would be something simple, but they got rid of it. They actually prefer people to write it out like this. X minus equals 5. X times equals 5. Now notice also, you will get an error. There's no space between the operator and the equal sign. You need to keep them right next to each other. So for example, if I said modular space equals 5, that's an error. You need to make sure that they're right next to each other. I will mark you off on that if you make that mistake. Okay, X modular equals 5. All right. Compound operators, they change the value of the variable. That is it. And then last thing for today, and this is pretty much going to be the last thing that you'll need to know for your test. The last thing that you'll need to know is incremental and decremental operators. Okay, you know them as plus plus or minus minus. Now, plus plus and minus minus is very simple. It basically means add 1. Minus minus means subtract 1. So let's say, for example, we said X equals 1. For right now, what I'm going to do really quickly is I'm going to make all of this a block comment so that we can just see what prints out. All right, so int X equals 1, all right? So what I'm going to do now is I have X equals 1. I'm going to say X plus plus. What do you think the new value of x is?
2.
2.
2.
2. Again, incremental and decremental also change the value. I also want you to take a look at this. Plus x. Does the exact same thing. However, take a look what happens if I do this. Plus x. This prints out 2. But if I do this, it prints out 1. When the plus, you got to look at plus and minus as a two-step equation. Okay? It means, so if I have the plus on this side, it means before you print this out, add 1 to it, to the value. Then go ahead and print it out. If I have it here, print out the current value. When you're done printing, add 1 to it. But let's say that I do it twice in a row. Let's say I do this twice in a row, okay? Basically what is now happening is I'm saying, okay, use the current value, which is 1. Okay, I've used that current value. Now I add 1 to the back end. Now it's 2. I've encountered x again. At this point, x is 2. The plus says, okay, I've ended on a plus, which basically means if I ever end on a plus, finish with the current value. After you've printed it out, add 1. So this would print out 3. Okay, what is the current value of x also? 3. Let's change this to 5. So let me give you, so for example, now I run this, okay, it's 11. And x is 7. So x I use the current value, which is 5. After I've used that current value, I increment. So now it's 6. 5 plus 6 is 11. I print it out. Now I also add 1 more because I have to take care of that. So this prints out 11 and this prints out 7. This one, you can make mistakes here. I see a lot of people that make mistakes here. They forget the rules. This one, you should never make a mistake because all you have to do is count these. How many times has it been incremented or decremented? You can literally go, okay, +1, +2. All right, 5 + 2. I know the end value is going to be 7. So let me give you this equation here. X plus x minus x plus x. Give me the value of x, and then give me the give me what prints out and give me the final value of x. Now again, the final value 1, 2, 3, 4. That at least I know has incremented 4 times. So 5 plus 4 is 9. So at least I know my final value should be 9. You should never get that portion wrong. But tell me what prints out. I'll give you a minute.
Is it 12?
It's definitely not 12. Okay, let's do it. So the first value is 5 because it's a plus. So we use the current value first. Okay, at this point, okay, I then have changed it to 6. The plus means add 1 before you use it. So this has been changed to 6 from here. What's 6 plus 1? 7. Okay, the plus is on the right side. I use 7 again, and this has now gone to 8. And then here, this is 8. I add 1 before I use it. So this is 9. So 5 plus 7 is 12. 12 minus 7 is 5. 5 plus 9 is 14. Who said 14? I think I missed the minus sign. If you said 14, you were right. So 5 plus 7. So again, this is all, by the time it has gotten to this next x plus plus, this has been applied. However, take a look what happens if I change this to a plus plus. This is 5. This is 7. This is 7 still, and it's 9. But, okay, so, or this is 8. Here's the difference. I use 8. I don't add 1 until I'm done using this. If I ever end on a plus plus or a minus minus, it will change on the back end, but I use this number, okay? I use the one just before it. So this one would print out 13. And then the final value is 9 because it still gets incremented. Now this is in your book. Now, I may throw one of these, but something to the extent of this, I'm not going to do anything crazy on your exam, okay? But I will throw one of these incremental or decremental operator questions at you just to kind of see, to make sure that you know the rules, okay? But for the most part, after this first quiz, you'll hardly ever see it again. The other thing is, on the exam, you will never see this. Plus plus x or minus minus x. You will never see it, okay? You'll never ever see it. You won't see it in the free response. You won't see it in the multiple choice questions. It's not tested. It's basically an x plus plus, and the only time you encounter something like this is with loops. Or if there's a free response question where you have to add 1, you can use the plus plus also. But for the most part, you're never going to encounter this, okay? And I'm going to test you on your rules, but after this first test, you'll never see this and you'll never see this. But I need to make sure that you guys understand the rules. So today we covered our standard operators. Do operators change the value of a variable? No. I did compound operators. You'll need to know your compound operators both ways that it is written. Okay, do compound operators change the value of a variable? Yes. Do incremental and decremental change the value of an operator or of a variable? Yes. So for example, hint, hint, test question. If I were to ask you, what are the 3 ways to write to increase a variable by 1? They increase a variable x by 1. I can say x equals x plus 1. I can say x plus equals 1, or what's the last way? X plus plus or plus plus x. Either one of those would work. But x plus 1, does that work?
No.
No. Okay, that does not work. So hint, hint, test questions. You should know the ways that variables get manipulated, okay? So your homework is, it's gonna be up at 9 o'clock. I already have it set to go at 9 o'clock. You are doing 1 through 18 on chapter 3, evens. 1 through 18, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, whatever, all the way up to 18. We will do the project or check your arithmetic in class on Monday or on Tuesday. Excuse me. Tuesday is simply a review session. Now remember, starting Tuesday, our class is 20 minutes less. Okay? We go back down to 40 minutes. So the great thing is we have the time, okay? We're doing great. Everything's fine. Study for your quizzes. The other thing that I'm going to send everyone via email is, remember I have that PowerPoint with the methods. I'm going to send everybody that tool so that you guys can study and you have perfect coding examples of what to study for. Review will be Tuesday night. We'll go over that, but that's basically your homework. The other thing, again, I'm having some of you who are still putting your answers in a Word document and uploading it. Don't do that. Just paste the answers into the submission box. All right. Anybody have any questions? I know it's early, guys. I hate programming at 8 a.m. It's just not productive. Okay. So I'm sorry that we all have to get up this early. So anybody have any questions? All right. How many of you guys still have class at the end or today?
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. All right. All right. Good luck. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Welcome officially back to school. And as I told your parents last night, some of you get it, some of you don't. Some of you might have to put in a little extra work in the beginning, and then it's just going to get easier for you. Don't worry if you didn't do well on a quiz. You're going to have plenty of makeup opportunities. And again, I don't do it with your quizzes, but your tests you will always get back so that you can review. You'll always get emailed a report. All right, everyone have a great Labor Day weekend. Good seeing everybody, and I will see all you later.